Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday. This week's topic is going to be burnout and getting enough rest. This is episode 122. Hey everybody, welcome back. Appreciate you being here as always. The inspiration for tonight's topic basically has to do with how this entire month is actually kind of gone for me. The past 4 weeks, I don't even know how long it's been. It's like the weeks kind of, all the days blend together, all the weeks kind of blend together. Technically working 6 days a week. Basically makes me feel like I have at least only have like half a day off because I'm off Sunday, Monday, but of course the past 4 weeks I've been working Sundays and I work nights, so I basically get to a lot of times I end up getting off Monday morning by like 10 and getting home by like 11 or noon, going to sleep for like 5 or 6 hours because I don't want to sleep all night. I want to at least try to somewhat enjoy my one night off. And so I get up and, enjoy the adult beverages and all that fun stuff, But then I go back to work Tuesday, so basically it's been feeling the past like 4 weeks or I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, I don't even know, that I have like half a day off because of getting up at like 6 or 7 at night on Monday night, hanging out with the fam, and then Tuesday, late afternoon, evening-ish, whatever. Sometimes pretty late Tuesday, but since I'm not on a specific dedicated anymore, because my Farina run kind of went back to going out of Atlanta, so every night it's you're doing this tonight, or you're doing that tonight. Hell, some nights, because the past couple weeks, it's kind of stupid, but basically I've been told, we're required to hang out at the hub up there at the terminal, be there all night, even if they end up not running us. Like we need to be up there and available. Usually the way I kind of do my job, is like if I don't hear anything by like 10 o'clock, 10:30, on a night of work, then I assume that there's no loads, I'm not running. So I don't even leave the house. I literally just stay there, kind of be available, but at the same time, there's weeks where in the past where I have actually gone ahead and because the liquor store I go to technically closes at like 10. So like if it's like 9:30, 9:40 and I'm thinking I'm probably not working, there were times in the past when I would actually go ahead and run across the street, grab my stuff, grab a couple drinks, good little margarita mix, get a couple of the Mike's orders, you know, let loose, unwind, relax, kind of enjoy the night, whatever, while watching Netflix or whatever, just chilling out, you know. But like lately, I try to keep it to just my regular days off. Which the past month it's been just basically one night, you know, one night a week. So, but yeah, the past 4 weeks we've been expected to kind of just sit up there, or I should say we. I mean, I say we, but I mean more like me. I don't think anyone else is actually camping out there at the hub, because that's the thing. It's kind of interesting that that's probably one of the issues I have. Management, you know, with my boss that I deal with my job. There's a lot of times I am told certain things, and those things don't end up being what actually happens. Like, oh, you're gonna run this tonight, and then I end up sitting for most of the night. I run like a 80-mile load, and I come back, like, oh, we're gonna send you to Murfreesboro. You're done for the night. Like, all right, cool. You know, I don't mind that too much, because at least it's a fairly easy night. I just run to Cookville and back, and then I run to Murph and back, and then basically go home. The ones I kind of don't like, even though the mileage is great, this is like, I'm coming by like 10 o'clock, I basically sit at the hub. 1 o'clock in the morning, I finally get a Cookville load. So alright, kind of expected, Go to Cookville, which takes like 2 hours, like hour and a half, 2 hours to get there. And then be coming back by like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Basically figured you're gonna get back by like 5. Actually, one of the nights I did get back by like 4, and it was like 4:15 when I was dropping the set, back in Nashville, and I checked on the app thinking, well, I'm gonna probably log in, get on my computer for an hour, do some writing, do whatever, and I check in, and it has me go into Evansville, and I'm like, oh, or not Evansville, but Paducah. I'm like, okay, it's 130 miles. All right, well, thinking like, well, 4 o'clock in the morning is pretty late to be doing a 260 mile round trip, but oh well, I'll do it, So probably got out to Paducah like 6:45, got back by like 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, because I hit some traffic on the way. So I think I got to bed at like 11:30, 12 o'clock that day, and I was like, all right, that kind of sucks. Good mileage for the night, but like just basically being up from 10 p.m. Actually 10 goes up that afternoon, so being at work since 10 p.m. and getting back home the next day at noon, like, yeah, that was fun. Hold on a second. Random SUV off in the little grassy median area with their flashers on, and of course the cop car parked behind them with their their blue lights flashing. I'm like, I wonder what happened there. But so there's been quite a few nights like that, like had that night where I went to Paducah, then not last night, but I think Friday nights, I came in and I did a run in. I think I got loaded with Cookville at like 1:45, and then it's funny that night too when I was told, oh yeah, be in by 10. All right, so I got up and. I think that night I got up like at 8:45, mainly because of I got home so late, so I went to bed, got up at 8:45, tried to actually, that's where part of the inspiration for the topic at hand, the burnout and getting enough rest, pretty much, because this week I've been dragging ass quite a bit because of how last week on Monday when I got off, I think I got off at like 9:30, and my DOT med card, for those of you not truckers, we have to do that like at least some of us have to do it every year, like myself, because of our weight, and if we have like sleep apnea, we're on the CPAP, we gotta do it every year. But if you don't have, like, if you're not necessarily quote overweight, and you know, you don't have sleep apnea, then you can typically have a med card, your physical pretty much redone every 2 years. So I had a doctor for a while that I actually was able to do in 2 years, which is kind of funny, you know, but he said stop doing it. So now the doctors I'm going through with Concentra, with, you know, through my work, you know, through our work, because they pay for it. Otherwise we'd have to pay like $100 for it if we went and did it ourselves. And I'm like, yeah, screw that. If the company's willing to pay for it, I'll have them do it. Well, the problem is you got to go to those facilities. So there's one that's downtown Nashville. There's one on the east side of Nashville that's, you know, not actually in, kind of, you know, outside of the city. So it's not like, not a congested area, a lot more wide open. So I'll make the drive, 15, 20-minute drive to go out that direction. That one, because I figure easier to get to, less traffic, you know, feel a little bit safer, you know, in the overall area. So I made the drive out that way while emailing and texting the bosses. Be like, hey, can you guys send over the approval for the DOT physical to Concentra? Because I'm on my way there now. Figured I'm gonna go get this taken care of before I go home and sleep, so that way I can just knock it out, you know. I got to Concentra and was still waiting on a reply. Basically, the one that sends over the approval, she finally emailed back and she goes, hey, sorry, I just got your email. I meant to send that over on Friday, but I forgot. I'll send it over in a minute. I'll be back. I should be back to the office within an hour. And I'm like, at that point, it's already 10:30. I'm going, crap. You know, because I'm like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to wait here for an hour before checking in. But I was like, well, I'm already here. It's like a 20-minute drive to get to where I was. So I just hung out for a minute, waited probably about 45 minutes. Probably 11:15, I walked inside and asked the lady at the counter, hey, is it possible, because I'm waiting on the approval to get sent over to you guys, is it possible to get checked in and get things started, and then, you know, we can get them to email what you guys need? And she goes, yeah, we'll get the basic information. We just can't call you back until, you know, that's covered, because I guess otherwise, like, if you're paying out of pocket, you pay before you go back there. So I was like, yeah, it makes sense, you know. So filled out what I could, and then sat down and waited, and then got the email saying I just sent the form over, let them know you're good to go, have a great rest of your day. And I'm thinking, like, all right, what do I need to, I basically was like, what information do I have to give them? And she goes, well, here's the form that you can show them, but they should be able to look it up in their system as well. I'm like, okay, cool. So went up and said, yeah, I've got the form emailed to me, but they said that it should be in your system too. You should be able to find it if you look at my name. And she goes, oh, yep, I see it. Cool. All right, so here I'm going to send you a text message. I need you to fill out this intake form, and then basically we'll call you back whenever we, you know, get around to you. Like, all right, cool, that works. So by this point, it's like 11:35, 11:40. I'd basically gone to work at like, I think I came in at like 9 the previous night. And so I was tired, but thankfully it was Monday, so I knew that after I got out of this, I was off that night. Just go back to work Tuesday. So I get everything turned in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of mentally keeping track of like all the, you know, like when you're in a crowded waiting room, and you know a majority of the people probably there before you, you know, so you kind of mentally keep track of like, all right, that person that called back, that person that called back, this person that called back, and the waiting room kind of empties out a little bit, and then of course it fills up with new people. But I'm thinking like, yeah, a lot of people came in after me, so I should be getting called back pretty soon. It was probably like a little over 2 hours before I finally got called back, and by that point I had been sitting there for so long, and I'm dead ass tired. My phone was literally at 10%. I knew I would have to email, because you have to show like your CPAP usage history to the doctor when you're doing you know, a CPAP user because of sleep apnea. And I've got a CPAP at home that it also has like, it's connected technically to the network at home, and so we're connected through an app. that I have on my phone, and so I'm able to like log on and show the usage. You have to, I think the requirements for that, for DOT standards, is I have to use it like over 4 hours per night, at least 70% of the time. My average for the course of 3 months was average like 7 hours per night. You know, so I was like, you know. So I had that form downloaded to my phone, ready to email to them. I didn't have their email address though, so I had to basically, I was like, well, I don't want my phone to die before I go back there, so instead of scrolling on my phone for the full 2 hours I was there, I put my phone in extreme battery saver, which I've never done that before, but it was kind of funny to have like every single, like 99% of my apps all grayed out. And because I was like, my phone's at that point, because I've had it for long enough, that it works really well, but if it gets down below 10% and I'm actively still doing stuff, it'll drop really quick. Like once it hits 10%, all of a sudden it'll be like within a matter of like every couple minutes, it'll be 9%, 8%. And I'll get the little pop-up alerts because your battery's down low enough. Then it's like I'm getting the alert, your battery's at 9%. A minute or two later, your battery's 8%. Your battery's at 7%. I'm like, oh crap. Because then, you know, you better get it plugged in, otherwise it's going to drop and it's just going to power down. But above 10%, usually it's fine. But I'm like, yeah, I definitely need to upgrade. Other than that, my phone works great. But, you know, put it in extreme battery mode. I literally closed out everything that I'm like, closed down navigation because if you navigated to the location, closed down chat apps, Facebook, you know, email. The one thing I wanted to make sure I could do is I wanted to make sure I could email that usage form to them, so that way they can sign off on the DOT physical or whatever. And then I literally had my phone locked, you know, the screen lock, and I didn't touch my phone at all. I just had it in my pocket, and I'm literally just sitting there, my head resting against the wall behind me or whatever. And I'm, you know, of course, you're being that tired, you got all those people around you. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking to myself, like, I wish, you know, because I was wearing a hoodie, but, you know, yeah, I can put my hood over my head, but it's not like as long as I would have liked, because I would have loved to just have a really long hood that you put over, not only over your head, but have it like cover your face, like have it be long enough to go down in front of your face. And I would have just like had my hands in the front pockets of the hoodie I was wearing, and have my whole head underneath the hood, you know, in like darkness, just kind of like sitting there technically hiding from the world. That's how I felt when I was that tired. I was like, I really don't want to be here. I really don't want to be, you know, I'm not really that big on being in big crowds anyway, you know, and so I'm just sitting around just kind of like, I would love to have like one of those little small tents that I could like zip myself up and just hide in, you know, or had a blanket with me or something to just like literally cover myself up. But sadly I didn't, so I just had to sit there. And then a TV, even though you can't hear, we just had to watch in silence. But of course, there's people that are sitting right underneath because the TV's up on the ceiling, and there's people sitting down below us. So I'm looking over there at the TV, and the people under the TV would glance up and look over at me because I'm looking directly almost at them, but I'm looking up. And so I wouldn't watch TV too much because, you know, I feel like they probably think I'm like looking at them. So it's like, oh crap. So I just would sit there and just kind of like try to keep myself alert. And finally, after like 2 hours, they finally, you know, Christopher, yep, that's me, you know. So I come back there and go through all the tests, have to bend down and do the squat and all that fun stuff, you know. Pee in a cup, you know, trying to communicate with the nurse and the doctor, and basically telling myself to enunciate as best as possible, because when you're that tired, you're feeling like you're just gonna like. I've had it happen before where you're so tired because of working all night that I'm trying to talk to somebody, and mid-sentence, all of a sudden, like, ow, fuck, you bit my tongue, shit, you know, and it's like you didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but you're trying to say something, and all of a sudden you either bite your gum, like your gums, or you you end up chomping out of your tongue by accident. You're like, ah, man, that hurt. Oh, okay. So then the rest of the day, you got that little, you know, that little numb part of your gum or your tongue or whatever, wherever you caught it with your teeth. You're like, ah, man. But got that taken care of. Got, you know, messaged my boss to be like, hey, so I just got the med card taken care of. He was send me a photo, please. Like, all right. Uploaded it to the Tennessee database. You know, the Tennessee DOT self-certification. You basically email them a copy of your this like affidavit you can fill out, like a PDF you fill out, and you send a copy of that as well as a copy of your med card. It's like whenever I renew my license, I have to do the same thing, fill out the affidavit, and then send a copy of my new license. So that way they can update it with the state, so that way my license remains active and valid. Because if you don't, it'll downgrade to a regular. I think it's like from like a Class A to a Class D. I think. I'm pretty sure it's a Class D is like basic driver's license. Anybody that just goes and takes a test becomes a licensed driver. I'm pretty sure it's Class D, but I might be wrong. But I think I had it downgraded once, but then I managed to get went in late, a couple months after my med card technically expired, and I went in. I still had the CDL, but according to the state, it's like your license has been downgraded. But then I went and got my med card. I went and did the DOT physical, got that updated, sent that over to the state, did the self-certification, and then I got the letter in the mail from the state, basically saying congratulations, you've been updated, your license is no longer downgraded. I'm like, oh cool, I don't have to actually go get the actual license again. I was like, cool, I think you have like sounds like you have like 6 months or a year after it expires to basically go and redo your physical, and basically it'll just redo it instead of having to go and, if you let it go for long enough, you have to freaking go do your CDL, do all that testing again to actually get your CDL again, which I'm like, that would suck. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't want to do that again. I'm good. But, so, I got home, and that's the funny thing about me, you know, like, my wife and I were, like, passing ships, because she works, like, 5 a.m., and I work overnight, so, like, by the time she comes home, you know, early afternoonish, like, I've gotten home, like, 10 a.m., noon, whatever. I'm passed out. I'm in bed by that point. And, if we do happen to be up when I get home, I might hang out for a minute, but then I'm like, all right, love, I gotta go crash. I'm tired. She'll be like, well, why, I guess. I'm like, what? Like, love, like, I'm dragging ass. I'm tripping over my own feet. I was like, I gotta work today. I have to get some sleep. So I, you know, sometimes I'll try to get just enough sleep where I'm rested enough, but then I can still get up and hang out. But the last couple of days, I've kind of focused more on, hey, I'm gonna make sure that I get plenty of sleep on those days, because you know, with the way that Monday went this whole week, I've been really, really struggling energy-wise. Just like, all right, I need to rest up. So like, I do these melatonin gummies. And technically, I do Unisom as well, so it's like a combination of melatonin gummies plus Unisom to knock myself the hell out. Make sure that I'm sleeping pretty good. Because even if I don't do that, even with CPAP, I end up waking up a couple times and not really feeling like you're resting like efficiently, you know. Getting some good rest, but I've noticed that I was struggling to stay asleep, even though it's something. That's why I never understood I've heard people say, like, have you ever been so exhausted that the exhaustion level is so intense that even though you're tired, you can't stay asleep, like your body struggles to sleep. And I'm like, I thought that was weird, but lately, because of only having the half day off, and then with the way Monday went, I was like, that's kind of what I felt like this week. It was like, all right, I'm dead tired, but I can't sleep. So I thought, and of course I've heard, if you're taking melatonin gummies, your body might be getting used to them, and so you might be developing a tolerance. So I was like, all right. I've done ZQL gummies in the past. But the thing is, those are very potent, like very intense. Like when I've taken those, like you're out. Like there's like I might partially wake up, but it's not enough for me to wake up and be alert. It's me wake up a little bit, kind of be a little bit aware of what's going on, but I'm still like you're still 2/3 asleep, and you very quickly just conk back out. So I usually would stick just to the melatonin gummies, regular ones. But me being desperate to actually not be quite as tired, the other day I was like, screw it, I'm gonna grab some of the ZQL gummies. You know, just kind of like hopefully when I go to bed I can knock myself out and like literally get enough rest so I can go to work at night and feel somewhat human. So it's like that's what I did, and of course like I've noticed in the last couple nights or days I guess I try to get at least 8 hours, and I'd be like 5 or 6 hours in, and I'll hear the wife come in the room and do something, but I won't be aware enough that it'll wake me up, but I'll be aware, and then I'll hear the door close and she goes back out, and then I'm gone again, you know. So I mean, it's definitely made a difference, because tonight, technically my day 6, normally my day off, but you know, that'll be after the holidays. But even though I'm tired, I actually feel somewhat sane. It's like I was like, ooh, man. But that's kind of been my tactic the past couple nights. You know, that I'm probably gonna be doing at least through the end of the month. You know, and so it's like you gotta, and it'll definitely affect your health too. Like if you're not sleeping, if you're not getting enough rest, like you're gonna start having other problems medically. You know, it's like other medical issues will come up that'll be caused because your body's not getting that recuperative rest. You know, like our body heals. Our body heals itself when you're asleep. Like that's basically you're shut down. Your body's repairing itself. You know, healing and all that stuff. That's why if you're sick, getting as much rest as possible is like probably number one. And then, you know, tied with that, or at least a very close second, would be making sure that you're getting enough, you're hydrated enough. Because if you're dehydrated and if you're sleep deprived, then basically you're gonna probably end up being sick. That's why I don't really do energy drinks a whole lot anymore, because I think the way I would explain it is I feel like I've almost killed myself with them. You know, when I was over the road, because like I was doing some online business stuff, was a part of a team that I was doing basically doing Facebook Lives every day. I would literally do 600 miles. I would park, and I was also an online student at a university as well that was getting an associate's degree. And so I would literally park. I would go live for probably about 1 to 2 hours for this team, and I was bringing in a lot of people from this team or whatever. Which 6 months of doing that, and then I would get done with that. I would get online and do my schoolwork, turn in whatever assignments I had to do, go inside, take a shower, grab hit the restaurant, get some food, come back to the truck, go to sleep. I was probably averaging like 5 or 6 hours a night, and then of sleep, and then get up the next day, do it all over again. And I remember the breaking point for me was, and I was living off of like Red Bulls or Monsters or whatever. Basically, just would pick one up before I left the truck stop the next morning. Be sipping on that through my trip, get to where I was going, park, same routine, get online, do my daily business stuff, get online, do my school stuff, go inside. I mean, some nights I might get a little bit more sleep because I wouldn't have to shower every single day. I wouldn't have to do laundry every single day, but at least have to go and hit the bathroom and grab food and then come back to the truck. But I got home just before Christmas one year. I think it was like I believe it was like December 2018, I think, like a couple days before Christmas, and from what I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, it was like me and the wife, and the kids. I don't think the grandkid was there yet. He might have been, but yeah, I think he might have been actually, because I remember I came home. We did some stuff. I don't remember, like, those pre-Christmas like festivities, like going to the actual, like, to the Christmas Eve service and maybe go to see lights and whatever. Like, we did a couple of things. I think we went and hung out, went to see like a friend, went to hang out at a friend's house. And I remember those first couple of days that I was home, I could feel I was declining. Like, I could just feel like, you start with like the energy's dropping a little bit, and I'm feeling like the itch in the throat. The sinuses are starting to, like, clog up and start to run a little bit. And I'm like, crap, I'm getting sick. So of course I'm sipping water and trying to hydrate, whatever. But of course it just kept getting worse and worse. And after, like, I think we hit Christmas, and then like the day or two after Christmas, it really plummeted really bad, and it was like I could barely move. So I was supposed to go back on the road. I had a load sign, like, probably about 2 or 3 days after. But I got on the app, thankfully, like, I didn't have to go back to the truck to message the carrier, because we had an app on our phone that also was, technically it was kind of like it was connected, like it wasn't in the truck, but we could message them directly on the app from our phone. Because the truck was like 20 minutes away. It was parked at the Flying J, and I had technically paid for parking. And so, at least I think I paid for parking, but I can't quite remember that part. If I went back to the truck a couple times to go ahead and pay for another couple nights, or I think actually, when I was sick, I think what I did is I came back, like, after email or messaging the company and basically being like, hey, I'm really sick. I need you guys to take the load off me, and I don't know when I'm gonna be able to come back out, but I'm just trying to rest up or whatever. I'll let you guys know. They're like, all right, we pull it off. Just message when you're ready to go, and we'll get you dispatched. Very cool. I think I drove out to the truck stop, when my paid parking was supposed to expire. I think I did it during the day when there's, like, more parking that's, not paid parking. It was like free parking. And I was able to move the truck and the trailer over to a free spot, close the curtains, lock the doors, and park it there, so that way I was good. It was probably like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I was home. It just kept getting worse and worse. Like, every day it just felt even worse. And so, like, I was deliberately, like, I was trying to drink water. Thankfully, it wasn't like the flu. I wasn't throwing up or anything. It was just like, energy level. Like, I really couldn't eat much. I just didn't have an appetite, and I just felt like it was hard to stand up. I just had no energy. So I was, trying to eat somewhat, but I was also trying to make sure I drink some water, and I was deliberately trying to, get as much sleep as possible, because I thought, well, me hydrating and me sleeping are probably the best things to pull me through this. But, like, after about a week and a half, I had felt like such crap that I thought, crap, am I dying? Because, you can only get so much worse before you're, like, thinking, like, man, I don't know how much worse this is get. I'm like, miserable. About the 2-week mark, I started to notice instead of getting worse and worse, suddenly I noticed a slight improvement. And then the next day, I noticed a little bit more. And so I messaged the company and said, okay, I think I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel. I think I need a couple more days. So like I said, probably like 3 more days. So that was Monday at that point. So go ahead and set me up for Friday. You know, I'll come back to the truck Friday because that'll give me 3 more days to keep resting and hydrating and making it. And I should be fine. All right, cool. We'll get you loaded and dispatched. All right, cool. Friday came along and I made, you know, I'd improved a decent amount. Came back to the truck, said goodbye to the fam, and hit the road for my 2 weeks, to go out for 2 weeks and come home for a weekend. You know, basically go out for a week, you go out for 6 or 7 days, take a 34-hour break, and then you go out for another 5 or 6 days, and then you're basically like every other weekend was when I was coming home. And it still took, I was still out for, I think it took me another week after I hit the road to where I was fully back to normal. But the funny thing was, when I came back out on the road, I backed away from the team I was promoting. Because one, I wasn't making, like, I'd made like, in the business that we were doing, I think I made like $20 in like 6 months. I brought in a lot of people, but basically we were all about that. We give you sales, we build your downline for you. If you're ever a part of a team online called Team Synergy back in like 2017, 2018, I was there. But you know, they've since came crashing down because the bulk of the team realized that everybody up top is basically like the leader of the team, as well as everybody closest to him, were basically manipulating everything. You know, so that they were getting these big ass paychecks, and those of us at the bottom doing the work, we were getting paid crap. So once we realized that, a lot of us basically gave them the bird, walked away, and the whole team came crashing down because, hey, you know, your pyramid just fell apart. So, but you know, they loved me. All the leaders loved me when I was, you know, active and literally doing lives every day, because I was, you know, bringing in people left and right. And I think I was referred to as Chris the Trucker, or one of our friends, an Australian lady named Heidi. For whatever reason, I don't know where we got the nicknames, but apparently, like, we refer to her as Blueberry, which I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you where that came from. I don't know. And she had this nickname for me, Chris the Sugar Man Trucker. And I'm like, I don't know where that came from, but it just kind of, you know. So I'd be like weekly live with Chris the Sugar Man Trucker. So it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Just like my wife, you know, she has a nickname too that she says that, you know, she refers to herself, that she says I gave her a nickname of Jelly Bean. I have no idea where it came from, because I don't remember ever giving her that nickname, but she's referred to it multiple times over the years. Like, it's like, you call me Jelly Bean or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much, you know. You're like, sure, okay, yeah. I think at one point, the only thing I can think of that she picked that and thought I was calling her Jelly Bean was like the whole, there's a saying from a movie. I honestly don't remember the actual movie itself. I just remember there's a saying that one of the characters says, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I think what you're saying, but I'm not paying. I mean, if you recognize that, you know what movie it's from, by all means, drop me a line and let me know. bloggershowpodcast@gmail.com. But so all the leaders kind of loved me when I was actively doing stuff. But then when I came back out of the road, I had decided at that point, I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm literally killing myself for this team, and for what? Like, I'm not getting paid, you know, like, I'm not making money, things aren't easier for me, things are easier for you guys, because you guys are making all these paychecks. But what am I getting out of this? You know, like, I can't keep doing this. I have to focus on my health. So I backed away, and I started I stopped doing lives, and they started, like, attacking me online. You know, call me lazy and ungrateful and whatever, and it was like, really? I was like, I was the one doing the work. Like, how am I the one that's ungrateful? Like, you were taking advantage of me, taking me for granted. So, no, I'm done. You know, a lot of those senior members of that team, all the leaders or whatever, I have blocked because it was all about. It was one of those things. It's kind of weird. It's like when you're a part of something that everybody's like, we're a family here, like we support each other. But then if you don't do what they want, I guess that would probably be aligned with like a cult. You know, like as long as they're getting it, like you're there doing everything to support everybody. Oh, we're a team, we're a family, and then of course you get sick and you can't do it. All of a sudden, like, oh my God, like I can't believe you're so ungrateful, you know, for everything you have here. Like, yeah, F you, you know. So but that just goes along with the current situation of being so mentally burned out, so exhausted because of not really having much time off. I've been mentally planning, or been, you know, planning in the back of my head. I've been thinking the past couple weeks that, like, yeah, I can't wait to take time off. Making a plan for probably sometime in the spring, probably spring break or whatever, when planning to take like 2 weeks, take the fam out somewhere. You probably go see family in Kansas for a week and then come back. And of course, my wife and daughter will go back to work, and I'm gonna have another week at that point, and basically just spend that next week, maybe get on the computer, get lots of writing done, maybe you get ahead on writing and actually have a month or two worth of logic show, short story segments to do, you know, so that way not just real talk or bonus episodes, but actually get some stories out for you guys. That's the plan, you know, to eventually get those going again. But you know, take that time and literally just enjoy the downtime for probably about 2 weeks and come back to work and be like, all right, cool, I actually feel halfway decent because I had some time off. But before then, because I know I have some PTO hours available, I don't know if I'm going to make it until like March or April, whatever spring break is. I have probably at least two days worth of PTO hours, I believe. So at some point after January 1st, I'm probably going to, you know, put in a time off request, use those hours, and maybe have a long weekend, like my Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or maybe take Friday, Saturday, and have like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, which will help quite a bit, because I'll come back after 4 days off and be like, all right, cool, I feel a little bit better. Funny thing though, one of the things about taking a trip out to Kansas is when I take a vacation, because of how slammed I am at my job, you know, with running 500 or 600 miles, you know, on some of these nights, and other nights, yeah, I might be sitting a little bit waiting on a load, but you're still technically, you're in the truck, you're at work. So it's not like when I don't know if I'm running and I'm sitting at home going, I'm not going to go in if I don't have a load. So you're still at work for like 12 hours, 12, 14 hours. So it's still mentally exhausting, because then you're like, all right, cool, I'm finally done, now I can go home. But when I go out on vacation, I want to do stuff, but at the same time, I want to basically do a lot of nothing too, you know? Like literally, like hit the pool, hit the hot tub, free breakfast in the morning, maybe grab a couple drinks throughout the week or whatever, some good food, and just really chill out. My wife's the kind of, we go on vacation, it's, hey, I want to make plans, we're going to go here, we're going to go do this, we're going to go do that, we're going to sightsee here, we're going to go visit this person, we're going to go meet up with this friends that live up here. Like every day that we were there, when we had like I think it was like a 9-day hotel stay at like Drury and Sweets, where they do like free adult beverages every night for all adult guests, and then they have free food, so everybody would come down to get their drinks between 5:30 and 7, but they could also bring their kids down, because they had like a buffet style food setup, and so the rest of the family would be grabbing food while the adults were grabbing their 3 free drinks every day or whatever, which is pretty awesome. But there were a couple of nights that we missed it because of things that my wife had planned. We didn't get back until later, and so we missed that time frame. And I was like, we paid a lot of money for this freaking room for the week. It was like $1,800 because we got a king suite. Really nice room, really comfortable. Loved it. I just hated that we missed those couple of free nights of free adult beverages because you know, we had to go do these plans and wife made. So it's like next time we go, I'm gonna be like, look, like if you want to plan something every day, fine. But we have to plan stuff that we can still make it back by like 6. We don't have to be back by 5:30, but we can be back by 6, 6:30 to where we can still get our free drinks and get some food that we don't have to pay for. Then I'll be cool, because if we're paying that much, I want to at least make the most of it. And I hated whenever we missed it. I was like, man, it's depressing. I was like, you know, we're paying this much for the room for the week, and we're not taking full advantage of everything they're offering. So next time we go, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to be out and about doing stuff all week. I want to have a significant amount of time where I can literally go, you know what? I'm gonna take like a couple hours in a day and work on writing, so that I can, you know, not only get like a single story for the week, but get a couple stories for the Blonde show. Maybe get work done on like whatever book I might be working on if I have the novel finished by that point, and working on another one, or you know, maybe finish a novel if I'm not done with it yet. You know, because I got volume 1 of the short stories basically written, and just kind of, you know, it just has to be formatted, edited, and stuff like that. But basically, it's ready for me to start working towards the publishing part for that. And then the novel is like 2/3 of the way done. You know, just gotta basically finish that up. Then same thing, me working on the formatting, editing, working on that. But I already have volume 2 for Blodgett Show short stories started. It's got like at least 1 or 2 stories in it. You know, probably gonna be about 5 or 6. 'Cause I'm trying to keep those published books. Yeah, not too much. Probably around 200 pages. You know, not make them too big. You know, but not make them like 3 stories, like 75 pages or something. You know, I want them to at least be a decent book that people can have a physical copy of the actual stories that we've done for the show. But you know, so lots of things planned, lots of things in the works. You know, but sadly, I haven't really been able to sit down and do too much of it because of you know, time, really. Yeah, I just had to bring up GPS because, of course, like I'm recognizing some of the signs that I'm at, and I'm like, all right, I think I should be getting some like mile marker 82 or exit 82 heading towards Memphis, and I'm like, sorry, GPS is talking to my ear, so it's like, yeah, we should be getting close. I brought up GPS, and of course, it was like, yep, I'm within a couple miles. And GPS literally was like, 2 miles, take exit 80B. I'm like, okay. So, but anyway, on that note, guys, sorry, talking to my ear again. But on that note, I will call that it for this week. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week. And you know, again, as always, you know, keep pushing forward, keep believing, believe you can, believe you will, and you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. Also, anybody that wants to support the show, by all means, go to blodgeshow.com/support. You can support the show for as little as $1 per month, or you can make a one-time financial contribution, which is much appreciated. Thank you so much in advance. But on that note, guys, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this week, and keep being awesome. And I will talk to you on the next one. Sorry, talking to my ear again. So on that note, you guys have a great one, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.